What's up everyone, Joseph here. In this video, we're going to take a look at the grammar that is on page 23 of the book. That's page 23 on Unit 4, Simple Past versus Present Perfect. Now we have seen this topic before. We saw this on the first book, and it's going to be a review of this topic. But in this video, I'm not going to give a lot of examples. I just want to focus on the essence of the simple past and on the essence of the present perfect. If you want more examples of this topic, I suggest you check the video here. I'm gonna leave the video here and also on the description down below. So, when do we use the simple past? We use the simple past for past events or actions that happen at a definite time in the past and have no connection to the present. So we show no connection to the present in the sentence. That's what we have to understand. We don't express connection to the present in the sentence. These actions finished and cannot be changed. They are the past. They are history. For example, we went to Samaná last year. What are you doing? What were you doing at 6 p.m.? Well, I was taking a bath. He played video games this morning. And it's 7 p.m. right now. So, those are examples of the simple past. How we use them to express past actions, things that happen in the past and have no connection to the present. So we don't have to mention the exact date when we use the simple past. Sometimes the date is known by context. For example, I graduated from school at a specific date, of course, because graduations have a specific date, and you don't have to mention then in the sentence. It would be good to mention when, but it's not always necessary. He came here recently. Came here recently in the past. He came somewhere, someplace. So we can express these ideas with the present perfect as well, but without being specific about the date or time. I have graduated from school in my life. I have graduated from school in my life. So it's not said here when, but of course you mean when you say like this, actually you are saying in my life at the end. That is how present perfect works. So when do we use the present perfect? We use the present perfect for actions that started in the past and are still happening now, or finished actions that have a connection to the present. So pay attention to this part. These actions can have some history, but more history can be added to it. More details can be added to the situation. For example, I have been an Águilas Ibañez fan all my life, and I still am. So, since the moment I was born, like all Aguilucho said, um, we have been fans of the team all my life. So that started in the past, and it's still happening at this moment. It's a reality. It was a reality in the past, and it's still a reality now. So to explain the situations, we use the present perfect. Rodrigo has visited Mexico 3 times. Rodrigo has visited Mexico 3 times, and he still can go. What we are saying here, what we are actually saying here is Rodrigo has visited Mexico 3 times in his life. Okay? So we don't mention this as in his life, but since we are using the present perfect, that is what we mean. She has studied a lot this week. This week has not ended yet. She has studied a lot this week, and she can study more this week. That can change. That information can change. Well, the amount of time the girl studied can change. We don't have to mention that here, but since we are using the present perfect, that's the meaning. So, the connection to the present can be made, pay attention to this part. The connection to the present can be made by the action or by the person using time expressions like today, this week, this year, or by this in his life. You don't mention that in the sentence, but you know you are saying that because you're using the present perfect. And um, since it's something that can be changed, since it's information that can be changed 3 times, that can change. Um, that's when we use the present perfect, and that's what you mean in his life. So, like I said, the connection to the present can be made by the action or by the person using time expressions like today, this week, or this year. I have worked at this store for 3 years. What does that mean? Meaning, he is still working. The connection to the present is created through the action. To the action of worked. The person has worked at this store for 3 years. Started 3 years ago and is still happening right now. So the connection to the present is created by the action. So let's see another example. I have worked at this store. I have worked at this store. So what does that mean? Means that he has worked before in his life, but not anymore. The connection to the present is created through the idea of his life. That's the connection to the present. That it has happened in his life, and his life has not ended yet. So to describe the situations, we use the present perfect. Note, have can be a normal verb and an auxiliary verb. They have different meanings. Have as verb means to possess something and also to eat or drink. So and have as an auxiliary is used to create the present perfect tense and other tenses. This is the structure. Subject have or has, the past participle, and the complement. This is the structure for the present perfect. For example, I have had Cuban food. As you can see, we are using have as an auxiliary and have as the past participle of the sentence. So they are two, in this case, they have two different meanings. Um, and also, guys, in this video, I'm not going to talk about the structures of the simple past or the present perfect. I have videos of that. I'm gonna leave those videos in the description, and also they're going to appear here when I start mentioning them, so you can go back in the video. So let's continue. There are ideas that can be expressed both with the present perfect or the simple past. It always depends on what you want to focus on, the specific moment when it happened or the event. So, I was at the river at a specific moment in the past. When you say I was at the river, you are saying that you were there, of course, in a specific moment, on a specific moment in the past, excuse me. I have been at the river. I have been at that river in your life. That's what you mean. You don't mention time expressions, and the connection is not made through the action? Well, you are meaning in your life. I have been at that river in your life. The connection is made through this idea, the connection to the present. I worked with the mayor. I worked with the mayor at a specific period in the past. I have worked with the mayor before in your life. That's what you mean. Before in your life, you have worked with the mayor. I went to Santiago on March. When did you go to Santiago? On March, in the past. I have been to Santiago this year. I have been to Santiago this year. The year has not ended yet. So you use the present perfect to describe the situation. But when you use time expressions like yesterday or this year, you have to use a specific tense. Time expressions that have not ended use the present perfect. Time expressions that have ended use the simple past. She visited the USA last year. She visited the USA last year. Last year is in the past. Has no connection to the present. She has visited the USA this decade. Well, this decade has not ended yet. So to express that idea, you use the present perfect. We read the book yesterday. We read the book yesterday in the past. We have read the book this week, excuse me. We have read the book this week. This week has not ended. So we use the present perfect to describe that idea. So this is the end of the video, guys. I repeat, I will leave the link of the other present perfect versus simple past video in the description. And for the structures of this tense, I'm gonna leave the videos also on the description. So I will see you on the next video. Have a good one.